It's time. All right, here we are. Welcome to the Pantelis podcast. My guest today, a good friend of mine, one of the fucking best, I guess, comics and YouTube personalities that ever came out of this fucking city. It's only you and Abdul that do it properly. It's Adam Susser.
Hey.
What's happening?
Hey, I thought we had already started before.
No,
I was already in the zone.
You were in the zone?
I'm deep in the zone.
Good. Stay in there. We also have Poseidon hanging out there in the corner, being a voyeur. Hey,
What's
Poseidon.
up?
You like to watch, eh?
I love to watch.
Nice. I like to be watched.
So, dude, I don't want to forget because we talked about it before, but I want to bring it up so everyone knows because you're back at making your videos.
Yeah.
Like I said, you and Abdul were the first guys that I saw making those, and I was kind of, oh shit, we can go on YouTube, we can do this.
We can do this.
They're making them.
We're permitted.
You made a new one with George LaRocque.
Made 2 new ones. Yeah.
I saw Daniel Karen.
Daniel Karen, who's a hilarious Montreal comic, and George LaRocque, the former hockey player and current media personality, was in them. And it was a silly conversation I was having with my best friend about a month ago. And then I was about to go rollerblading. I'm not ashamed to be a rollerblader, by the way.
Should be.
So, but I'm not. And then it all came to me, and I had to cut my rollerblade session short, rollerblade back to my car, recorded it in my phone. I'm like, this is one of the best sketches I ever wrote. And then I filmed it. One of the best edits I ever did. I acted super well. I don't get the opportunity to act a lot because I do a lot of streeters and just random stuff, not necessarily high production. Put it up there, super proud of it. Didn't do that well, but it doesn't matter because it's a funny sketch.
It didn't do that well. I'm actually surprised because I agree with you.
No, I don't know why. Sometimes there's just no explanation. The only explanation I have is maybe because I'm yelling too much. A lot of yelling, but it's funny, I think. So
yeah, I know. Yeah, you're yelling at Daniel. Yeah.
Yelling at Daniel, but he's hilarious. He played the part perfectly, and
he gets jittery. He's good at that.
It was like that's kind of how he's like on stage.
Yeah,
he did it to a T, and I was like dying when we were filming with him and when I was editing, and Anyways, sometimes you just do it and it's fine. I did it okay, but when we put out something you're so excited about, you're like This is the one.
Oh, it's happened to me.
This will change everything. And then you're just like, what the fuck? Like,
no one's responding.
Yeah.
You think the weirdest is when they respond to something that you just put out, and you're like, really? This is what you're going fucking crazy for?
Of course.
That happened to me on TikTok.
You can't complain when that happens, but sometimes it's like, this isn't even good. Like what? Yeah, you said it. That's it.
Wait, you're also on TikTok, right?
Oh yeah. I'm like TikTok. I'm doing like a job now until for Corona.
But you're seeing the numbers go up there.
Yeah. Well, I was in New York City and I just moved there and I had to move back because of Corona. So I spent a month where I had that New York work ethic where I came back and literally a month I was doing like 40 hours of TikTok work a week. And I really was able to gain like 1,500, 2,000 followers. But then I have an air conditioning company and I stopped doing it. I started doing that. So now I'm just getting back into the swing of things. Lost all my momentum. No more New York work ethic. But I'm trudging along. So I did 2 videos this week and I have a bunch of old content that I could put there that just edited down to make it TikTok friendly. But TikTok's super motivating because it's very democratic. They give everyone a chance to go viral. Because at the very least, they show it to like 150 random people. You don't have to ask your friends to like or share. So it's very exciting. It's by far the social platform that I like the most.
So if I understand correctly, they're going to show it to a sample audience.
Yes.
And leave it to them to say if it's good, they'll like, and then they'll show it to more people. Is that how it works?
Depending on how they react, exactly.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it's really like exciting if you're a content producer.
Yeah, I was only on TikTok for a bit. I didn't really make stuff specifically for TikTok.
Yeah.
I was mostly looking like, what's all the hype?
Yeah.
And then I don't know if it was the algorithm, but after a while, all I would see was dog videos.
Okay. Yes, I could see you liking dog videos.
So then I would just get dog videos and then random kids, like super, super rich kids in houses, like flexing their cash. And I was like, what is this app? Like, I don't think this is for me. And then
that sounds like it is for you. Listen, I trust the algorithm. I think you like dog videos and
rich kids.
Rich kids.
Yeah. So, well, the dogs I love, but the rich kids, I was like, what the fuck?
Deep down inside, TikTok probably knows you better than you know yourself. I think you.
Well, I had some of the best dog-related videos I've seen in a while. I'm gonna be honest, were on TikTok. They were the most adorable things.
Yeah. No, that's what's good about it too. When I avoided joining it because like the stereotype about TikTok is it's just people lip syncing and dancing, which is like, that's like hell to me. That's my version
Yeah,
of hell.
but that's
I
only
can't
a
watch shit.
like a small percentage that are on
Yeah,
there.
so there's everything. It's videos about anything you like. So it doesn't take long. And then I just don't see those annoying videos anymore. And I see videos that really appeal to me. So there's so many funny people on it. It's so funny. You do have to make them TikTok specific. Like you ideally don't want to make them longer than like 30 seconds. But it's still a lot of fun.
You think I should be getting on the TikTok?
I don't know. You're doing a lot of things. You got like 17 podcasts.
Yeah. There's no way I get.
Your plate's full right now. I think you're okay.
It's more than full because I got stuff that I haven't even announced yet that I'm planning on
there
doing.
There you go. 18 and 19 you're working on?
You know why? Because the 28-day thing, right? For people who don't know, here in Quebec and Montreal, red alert, they decided to put us back in a mini lockdown for 28 days. We can't do any stand-up. So I figured, look, I have my nights free anyway now. I can't do stand-up. Might as well try to give out some more content, try to do something productive instead of sitting and bitching about the fact that I'm not doing stand-up. I
mean, Jesus, you do I like to just try and work during the day and then like have a life at night personally.
Oh no, me, it's all work.
But I guess, yeah, I just, in Montreal, I don't have the motivation. I mean, going to stand-up shows is different, I suppose. That's what if I can do that, that doesn't feel as much as work, even though I know it is.
Feels like a hang to me too. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, if you can do that. When I was in New York, that was my life. I would just work from like when I woke up to when I went to bed. But that was I had a much stronger work ethic when I was there because you had that immigrant mentality.
Yeah,
you're like, I've paid to be here. I've got like a year and a half left. I got to make this shit happen.
I feel like that. Well, I feel like that in general with comedy. I have the immigrant mentality.
That's good. I don't have that. I don't have that as much here. Here it's been like I work hard here, but I just find that I don't see the carrot at the end of the stick.
I've mentioned this before about the scene here is
as motivating.
It's not as motivating. That's why I'm doing a lot of stuff in French as well.
Yeah, that's more motivating. If you're happy here, that's good. New York was motivating because I saw all the opportunity. Everybody knows about it, but it's one thing to actually be there. It's like thrilling, and you're like, oh my God. And I was really. But here, I've been motivated, but just not. I don't know, I've been here for too long. I was like, I'm over it, and especially after going there, I'm just like, yeah. But TikTok is exciting because then if I could build up a big following and audience on somewhere, then that will be very, valuable when things sort of get back into the swing of things. You
100% can, because there's a few people that I had seen on TikTok that then I followed on other platforms because they're making videos. There's this one chick in Toronto who I find super fucking funny. I don't think she intended in the beginning for it to go viral. She like plays the role of like a off the boat Russian lady, Olga.
I think I know.
You know who I'm talking about? She's a gorgeous girl, but she's very, very funny. She does like that angry Russian woman stuff. And I can tell you, like 95, 96% of the videos that I see on Instagram, I'll like them. Like, they're funny. I enjoy her. She's doesn't take herself seriously, and not a stand-up, just a TikTok person. Just let me make a funny video about what would happen if Olga went to the doctors, for example. Trying to smoke in there, shit like that. And I found a lot of people through TikTok that I was like, fuck, these guys are actually funny, and then they gained a huge following.
Yeah, well, that's it. I found like people like actors, comics, like exactly like how you're describing that. I just love to watch. And I find like one thing is like if you could find one thing that you do, a character or just something, and just stick to that, that is something that works best on TikTok. I do a bunch of different things. This isn't the best for TikTok, but whatever. But
Make it work. It's for you.
I gotta, do what makes me happy.
You know, the good things about you is I've never seen, you don't get political. Like you always look for the funny.
Yeah, I'm not. I would be a politician if I wanted to be political.
Exactly.
I'm a comedian. All I want to do is be silly and have fun and see how funny I can be and do different funny things and get funnier. That's like the motivation for being a comedian.
You see yourself going back to New York after all this shit, or?
I'm dying, dude. I was living like the dream, like my dream. Even aside from the comedy, I've always felt like an affinity with New York City, and it's always been my dream. Even if you take comedy out of the picture, to just live there. And it's like, the best way I could describe it is it's like just for laughs there 24/7 and you're a part of it. That's how it feels to be a comic in New York City, And I was there with, like 16 years into the game. So it's not like you could always get better, but people acknowledge that. So I was already like, things were happening and it was thrilling. So yeah, I'm dying to go back. Up until like a month ago, I finally accepted that I don't think I'm going to be going back for like at least a year. I have buddies there. Like I just loved my life there, and I loved the challenge, and I love the opportunity and everything. So I'd love to go back, but nobody knows.
Would you go back if they reopen most of it, but there's no more stand-up for a while?
No, because I could kind of go back if I want to, but if there's no stand-up, like they're doing open mics in the parks.
It's not for me, the outdoor stuff.
I would do it, but that's kind of just like doing comedy here. It's like, where's it going to go? It's too expensive, and I really have to have like the full thing. I have to have my routine. Like I really had a routine there, and I need that motivation of like something can happen. So no, I have to wait until things really get better and stand-up reopens.
You want to go back to what you had?
Yeah. I don't know how long that's going to be. Nobody knows.
I don't know. Now that the president got COVID, who the fuck knows?
No.
Yeah. Who knows?
They're going to go into red alert soon.
And if the Simpsons have taught us anything.
Will they in the States? I don't know.
I don't know about the States, but I know that here, we're already there. I have a feeling this 28-day thing is a ruse.
You think it's just going to, at the beginning of, nobody knows. I don't know.
Just because it doesn't, I was thinking about it, doesn't make sense because the stuff that they blocked is basically homes. You can't have any gatherings.
One person, if you're single, I can have one person.
Yeah. And they said for romantic affairs, they wrote.
That's perfect. That's
which
all
is amazing.
I really like to hang out with people for.
Yeah.
What if you want to have a threesome though? What do you do?
Listen, I think you'll, who's going to know? I still have a threesome. I'd go for the threesome. It's not every day you get the opportunity to have a threesome. If somebody wants to have a threesome with me, I'll say, come
you're
over.
going to do it. Take a chance.
Yeah, I'll take that risk.
But the one person thing for romantic affairs, they didn't mention the number. They said the maximum number of people for specific things is I think 10 or something. So technically, if it's a romantic, which falls
really?
into it,
So threesomes are allowed.
You could do a gangbang. Yeah.
Oh shit.
But you have to prove, like, let's say we're all over.
So Quebec, eh?
Yes.
One person, unless it's for romantic affairs, then you can have at least you can have up to 10.
Yeah.
But if it's not for romantic affairs, one person.
Yeah. If it's not for romantic affairs, if you're having a game, man, that's cool, guys. Like, just fucking, invite us.
That's great.
That's
what
funny.
a place.
Very typical Quebec.
I think it is a ruse though to get us comfortable with it again, and then close more stuff down because it can't curb anything since
What
the
more
schools.
can they close down? They can't.
Well, the
close
schools
down.
are still open. Stores are still open. Regular stores, malls are still open.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. I feel like it's just a precursor.
I don't think it's planned personally. But then you know what? I don't even know what to think about anything anymore when it comes to fucking what the newspaper, like the media writes and the government says. I don't fucking trust. I hear things from certain people that it sound believable, and then I read the media and that kind of sounds. But there are certain things about the media just because I've worked in the media before that I know, like that I don't trust.
Yeah, I don't trust the media. But look,
but then I don't want to distrust everything.
There you go.
I don't know.
Then you start panicking, get paranoid. I believe that everyone involved in politics is a fucking regular human being. So I put myself in their shoes, and I feel like they don't know what's going on. You know why? Because neither would I. Neither would you. This is an unprecedented time.
What
Yeah.
So I don't think they know a ton of stuff that we don't know. There's obviously secrets, but it's a virus. Nobody knows what's in a virus's head. What the virus thinks.
What the virus thing? Yeah, what the virus is doing.
Only the virus knows what it has planned.
Speaking of the virus, you think now with I didn't ask you this. I didn't ask him earlier, but I'm gonna ask you because you're a smarter person.
That's true.
How would you feel if now that Trump got it, we find out in a week, they're like, yeah, we're moving forward. We got the vaccine ready. Like now that he got it, for example, that there's a vaccine ready, how would you feel? Would you feel like, oh, goddamn, that's fucking suspicious? Or would you be like, hey, I guess he was really motivated?
Well, Trump's, an interesting thing about Trump, he's extremely transparent and he tells you what he's going to do.
That's true, yeah.
So I've already been expecting him to announce, shortly before the election, we found the vaccine. So whether or not he has it, I think is irrelevant. They're going to announce that he has the vaccine anyways.
That would be amazing.
Well,
100%. He's saying we're in a month. He's been saying for weeks, in a month, it should be ready.
He has been. Yeah, you're actually right. Yeah, I thought that was just like a bullshit talk.
Well, yeah, everything he says is bullshit, but it's still something he's going to do. It's no question. So a lot of people will be like, oh, this guy, Trump.
This motherfucker.
Yeah, he did it. He saved us.
Well, even during the debates, he had and we have the vaccine. It's much sooner than you think.
Yeah,
Remember
he
that?
kept saying,
He's been saying
sooner than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good impression.
I love the way he fucking talks. It's
Entertaining.
It's entertaining, dude. But
Did you watch the debate?
yeah, we live streamed it.
Really
we were on
entertaining.
YouTube.
Like it shouldn't be that entertaining. It's not how it should be.
It was a weird
All
level of
fiction.
entertainment. Did
That's
you
fine.
feel at certain points? You know what I felt at some points? I was like, "This is ridiculous." I laughed, and then my head would be like, "Dude, this is not the way a debate between the two candidates to lead the most important, let's say, nation on the planet right now. This shouldn't be happening. This is like it was written. It's like a sitcom level.
Yeah. It was like there were an hour and a half, no commercials, glued to the TV. Couldn't look away. It's like, this is entertainment at its highest form.
Yeah,
It shouldn't be that much fun.
I used to hate politics.
Crazy.
I used to not want to watch any of this shit.
Well, everybody did. I remember when I was a younger comic, I remember thinking, I will never waste my time making political comedy. And I've done political stuff, like about Quebec and stuff.
But it was more on the lighthearted side. It was never like, I'm taking a stance. It's more of, let's make fun of the idiots.
Yeah, but it was definitely a stance, I think, in a comedic way. I've done a lot more political stuff than I ever thought I would.
Really?
Yeah. There was a lot of like, the fucking CAC shit and all like racism and stuff like, the French English stuff that really gets under my skin. So
that's heating up again.
Oh God, that's another thing about New York that there are things about here that really bother me. And I just like, when I left, I was like, this place isn't for me, type of thing. So that is something you don't have to deal with, in New York.
Yeah, you're not the only one. I hear it a lot.
Yeah.
People that leave because of that, like
it's English people leave because of that.
Well, Jay Baruchel mentioned that, and people got mad at him. Remember?
Yeah, people get mad forever. You can't even say that you don't even like it, and people get mad.
Yeah, like, I don't like the divide.
Yeah.
You don't like the divide? Get out of here, faggot! Like, they're just angry for like the dumbest things.
Yeah.
Who wants the divide? Wouldn't you prefer unity?
It's such to argue about language and all that. Like, you guys won. Everything's French. English people are here, and they all speak French. What more do you want? It's like, let's move on. Let's work together. Let's build like a great Montreal and a greater Quebec.
Yeah, but it's.
Like,
I'm telling you, it's not
so
majority.
Much money goes to all that fucking garbage of just like it's over.
Well, majority, because now I get to deal with a lot of French comics, a lot of French people. I am telling you, dude, majority does not think, they don't give a fuck. They're not aggressive.
Yeah, I agree with you. The average person, I think, that I come in contact in Montreal, for sure, isn't like that. But
it's a political game they play. They use it.
I mean, it's the boomers are in charge, and they're in charge of the media, and they're the politicians, and they legit, like, I have firsthand evidence of dealing with people who have been brainwashed, and I once unwashed a chick's brain who I was on a date with once, a long time ago. She was born in Mauritius.
Oh yeah, the island.
Yeah, but like grew up here. And she was just like something along the lines of like, the English people like hate us and they want us to leave. They feel threatened by us. I'm like, use your brain for a sec. Like, we're an English minority in a fucking English speaking, in Quebec, but in an English speaking country, in an English speaking continent, in an English speaking world. We don't hang on to our like language like it's a culture. We don't feel threatened at all. That's like a lie that you've been told so that you could fucking, be with them. Like, people are here English people are here because they want to be here.
Yeah.
And I could see they're like, oh, that makes like a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's true. What would you
it's really, they've just been told, but hopefully the boomers are going to die out. And I think there'll still be a lot of people who are like that, but I think the younger generation is going to not care as much. And because it fucking it hurts our economy. Like,
it hurts everything. The strength of this place to be, because it's supposed to be a Canadian leader. We have everything here.
Oh, yeah.
The strength is the fact that they're bilingual.
Exactly.
And that you have leverage over everyone else in North America because we have two languages.
Yeah, and Montreal and Quebec is so unique within North America, and it's beautiful.
Dude,
our culture is beautiful.
The best place is so different. You go to Toronto. I've said, you go to Toronto, you go to Alberta, you go to all these different places. They feel different.
Yeah.
But they feel akin to each other. But they feel different from here.
Yeah.
Whereas here, anybody comes here for the first time and they've been to the rest of Canada, like, what the fuck? This is a different fucking country.
That's it. So just like,
I like the way it is here.
You need to chill. Yeah, I really like Montreal. I'm kind of over it. I've been in love with Montreal for a long time though, and like my family's here and everything, and I could acknowledge like the city's beautiful. There's so many different beautiful neighborhoods, and I just But
a lot of people I'm noticing now. When I was younger, I never had these conversations about, hey, do you like it here? Like, you were born here, you live here, but do you like it? Would you stay? Do you want to move? It never came up. It was always just assumed that you were born somewhere. You're most likely going to die in that city. You're not really going to go anywhere.
How old are you? That was assumed when you were young?
That was assumed when I was young, yeah. Like, I'm 34 now, but all my friends, like, the people that I grew up with, I could tell you 99% of them
that sounds like an old village, like you
mentality,
grow up,
yeah. They're all still here.
Okay.
And I was the first one from my circle that started to really, because of comedy, like, go out on the regular. Like, part of my job had me going. Like, last year was a crazy year. Fucking New York, LA, Texas. Not like it was, and it became a regular product. I'm going to be there for a week. And it became my eyes kind of opened, and spending more time in different cities, I would start considering, would I move here? Can I move here? What does Montreal have over this place, you know? And the only common denominator that would come back from every city that Montreal would win out was my family, my friends and family. That you can't replace. Like the feeling of knowing. So let's say right now, I used an example. You might get it because you were in New York for a while. So here, anything happens. My car breaks down. I need someone to paint something. I know a guy for everything.
I know. Listen,
I'm a stranger in every other city.
I know. And I thought about that, like, when I was making the transition to New York. Like, one of my good friends is my mechanic. Like, I figured it takes a long time in life to figure it out.
Yeah.
And in Montreal, like, I know. I feel like, in a way, I've conquered Montreal. Everything, like, I know how to make money here. I've got friends. I've got family. I know all the people. I know how it works. So yeah, you lose that a bit, but I mean, ultimately you have to do what makes you happy. But that is kind of what I thought about when I was transitioning to New York. I was like, I would think about that in terms of grocery stores. Like I lived in NDG and I have 3 grocery stores that I know where to get the salad dressing that I like here, this meal here, this, and it's like you go to grocery stores in New York, you're like, well, you got to try everything. All the brands are new.
Yeah.
You got to try. I'm someone who keeps like 7 salad dressings in my fridge at any given moment. I have to try all the salad dressings and find the good ones. It's tough. Life was tough.
That's like
Interesting.
Those salad dressings. I so far I've like calculated, like early on I thought LA would be a place I'd go to. Then after like my 3rd or 4th time there, I was like, fuck this place. I love coming here for a few days. I can't live here.
No, LA seems chill, man.
Weather-wise, one of my favorite places. You can wear whatever you want because it doesn't have that humidity, right? At night sometimes there would be like precipitation, but it wouldn't rain. And I liked it, but I was like thinking of living there. I was like, I can't. Same thing. I had that problem with New York. Remember when we were down there? He was telling me, would you move here because of stand-up? And I was like, my problem with this place is it's too crazy for me.
Yeah, it's very intense.
There's too much. I like the peace. I like being able to have some peace and quiet. There's no peacefulness over there. There's no peace.
I remember after I was there for 2 months talking about it with my roommate who's from there. And I was like, I just kind of feel like I have trouble chilling out here. He's like, yeah, that's like New York. He's like, it's like everybody has that. Your chill is up here at New York. Like there'd be some nights when I'm like, I just want to like chill in my apartment and watch a movie, and you still can't really come down. Yeah. So I found myself, I only did this, I started doing it, but then I had to come back. Just like I took a Sunday and I drove for like an hour to like a small town.
And that calmed you down.
Because then you're just in like, I legit sat in March in a bare wooded forest for 2 hours alone talking to myself. And I mean, I talk to myself regularly.
Yeah, me too.
To chill. And then I went for a walk on the strip in the place, and it was like, I felt like I was in The Sopranos. You kind of feel like that everywhere when you leave like New York City, I find. Everything feels like The Sopranos.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because how do you turn off in a city that's always on?
Yeah, the energy, man. There's energy that's something that's like, you know, you can't see, that just you feel, and it's fucking, I feel like unless you live in a really nice place that's like quiet and like modern and just chill, then you'd have a maybe better and easier time.
Because I was having trouble because you were there, so you can describe it. You could describe the feeling of the no sleep, and the way I had described it to him, because we had went down. It was the second time I think he was there, and that night we had went out, and it was me, Mike, Guido was there, Massimo was there, and we were eating pizzas at 2:30 in the morning. And the way I had described it to him, like the next day we were talking, and I go, you see what the difference is between here in Montreal, the big one that you could feel, is that in Montreal, there's kind of like an end to the night. Yeah. And the night ends. Right now, it was late over there. I go, if I wanted to, in the middle of the night, I can go downtown, buy a fucking flat screen TV, a Cinnabon, you know, and eat something, and then go home. In the middle of the fucking night, I go, I can't, in Montreal, there's a limit for everything.
Yeah.
You know, it ends. I go, here, there's no limit. Do you get what I'm saying? And then that's when he's like, oh, now I'm starting to get the feeling of it, because like there's no, it's very hard to explain. There's just no limit.
Well, things do end. You could kind of get anything you want at any time.
Yeah.
But
not everywhere.
Yeah.
But here you can't do that.
Down. No, here you can't do that. I mean, New York's a different, you know.
It's a beast.
Place. It's a beast.
It is a beast. It is a beast. It's not a bad city.
I feel like it's, and don't you feel like just as in your element there as you do here?
Yeah, I could walk around. There's a strong walk culture there.
In a different part of Montreal almost. Yeah. But like I always would describe it as like, it's like Montreal on crack, you know?
It is Montreal, or on speed.
Yeah, speed and crack.
Speed and crack. There's some crack in there for sure. But LA doesn't have, another thing that gets me, because it doesn't have the walking culture.
No, I find the whole West Coast is different. I find New York and Montreal are very similar, and every other city I find is, the West Coast is beautiful though, but you can't walk in. You're stuck in whatever area. That's one thing that blew my mind when I went to LA, and just when I traveled in general. like I started traveling when I was like in my early 20s, and I always assumed, because we're so blessed with our nightlife, that you just go to any big city and you're gonna have a crazy nightlife. But like I was in Rome when I was like 22, and we fucking couldn't find like a place to party in Rome.
Oh
We
shit!
were walking around for like
yeah.
an hour, and I swear to God, it was like a groupie. We were asking people, and we were downtown Rome, and it's just so many cities they don't have like a concentrated nightlife like you just assume they would.
They don't.
Like we do in Montreal, where you're just bombarded with like a million places to go out.
Yeah, they're all so. The thing in LA, because you're talking about how everything's spread out. The first thing that stuck out to me was here when you ask distance-wise, like how long is it? Oh, it'll be about 20 minutes. The first time I asked that question, I remember there, I had to get to, I think, Santa Monica. And I got a question back, and it was, well, what time are you going? And I was like, what do you mean? Like, how long will it take? He goes, I can't give you a straight answer. Drastically different times, depending on what part of the day you're going. You can get there in 25 minutes or an hour and a half. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, that's a different world. He's like, that's how it is here. He goes, you have to time your shit. Like, and they're a bit more, it's crazy because they want shit done there, but I find them too laid back.
Yeah, that could be annoying. It's too slow.
Yeah, they'll show up late and it's normal. Don't worry about it. Whereas here and in New York,
people are pretty late.
yeah, where here, people here. It's the weirdest thing because here I find people with the New York work ethic, but they'll show up late and they'll like me. I'll go crazy. I'll work 56 hours a week on all this, right? I'm like super.
You're an anomaly for Montreal. Nobody has a fucking work ethic in Quebec. You crazy?
Yeah, you might be right. Maybe it's just me.
Everybody chills, has fun. It's definitely just you.
Yeah, okay, that's a problem.
I mean, it's good for you, but no, here it's like that's also another thing. Like I work hard, but I still. Like I'm pretty proud that I haven't had like a full-time job in like fucking a decade, and I could just like it's easy to live here by working like part-time.
Yeah, you're right.
You don't need a lot of money, and like everyone kind of acts like I speak to people in business. You know those business people,
the business types,
and the ones who come from companies in other cities. They're like everyone's like things don't get done. Nobody shows up on time. Everyone's like it's okay, like chill out, and they all have problems here. It's really lax.
So psychologically, I like to keep it like when I used to before comedy when I was like a project manager. The way I would run things was like that. I'd be like, look, I don't give a fuck. You promise me what you're gonna get done by the end of the week. I'm not gonna micromanage you. Come in whenever the fuck you come in. You don't have to come in at 9. You want to come in at 10, 11, sleep in. I don't give a shit. I don't want to hear an excuse at the end of the week.
I mean, that's good.
That would always work.
Yeah.
Because then you'd have people coming in at 11, but they'd leave later. They'd be calm, this and that, and they would always get their shit done. Whereas managers that I would see their strategy was fucking over the shoulder. What are you working on? What are you doing? This and that. They would always have trouble. They'd always be late because people were fucking anxious.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'd rather you be happy.
Yeah.
And you know what you can do. If you promised it then, fucking get it done. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, well, because everyone's different. So when you try to fit everybody in the same kind of frame, it doesn't really click.
Yeah, some people don't. There's some people that if you trust them, they're going to fuck you over.
Yeah, listen, management is a tough thing. I managed like a kiosk once for like a marketing company, and it was tough. I would rate myself as like a mediocre manager.
You think you were the problem? It wasn't the relaxed people.
Well, I don't know if I don't know if I'd call myself a problem, but like it's just there's an art to it.
Yeah.
You kind of have to manage people differently.
Yeah.
I tried to be like fair and like listen, these are the rules for everyone. Just like follow the rules.
Oh, but the second
you gotta play with certain people and give certain people, but then the other people can't find out. It's a whole fucking. I don't miss that stress. No.
No,
I think you'd be a good manager. It sounds like if that's what you're.
I was actually. I have people that used to work with me that come to shows sometimes, and we'll talk, and they'll be like, I had a great time when you were a manager, and this and that, and this the difference with you. So I get the feedback. And I'm like, oh shit, I did do a good job, but nothing I've done, and I was happy, I guess, but nothing I've done ever made me as happy as stand up, podcasting, shooting the shit.
That you can because it's your art. You're passionate about it,
and I work more now than I ever did. Like, I didn't have a job that regularly I would have to work 60, 70 hours a week.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You put in that much time, eh?
Oh, I'm always working. I'm always working. I'm always doing something.
I mean, that's the recipe to success, my friend.
Let's see.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm not unsuccessful, but I always feel, but it's this time of the year because my birthday was on the 24th of September.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, sir. Anytime I have my birthday, I first of all, I avoid it. Like I needed people to remind me again this year. I'd completely because I try to think about it. Anytime
forget about it.
Yeah, I don't like
I just try and get through the day, which is another like old person thing I never thought I'd become. I just don't want to get emotional. If I don't like get upset that day, that's a win for me. That's where I'm at in life with my birthday.
I can't. You do you know people that they get depressed around the holidays? Like I know people that seasonally Christmas they get depressed. I don't have that.
I get depressed only because that day is hard to find things to do. I'm like alone. Like legit, I've had Christmases where I've roamed the streets alone downtown with nothing open.
Yeah, a lot
That's
of
another day. That's a harder day than your birthday.
yeah, a lot of my Jewish friends tell me that. They go,
Yeah, you don't know the struggle that you go through.
but
joke.
I don't stress out during the holidays ever. I love Christmas. I love anything. I'm enjoying it. My birthday, I've pinpointed this year. I actually get depressed, and there's no way I can fight it because the reason I get depressed is it forces me to look back, and I always feel like I've wasted my life. I've underperformed. I'm not where I should be, and I can't fight it. It's in my head. I go, you've done nothing with your life. You've done nothing.
No,
that's all it reminds of. That's why I try to avoid it. Yeah. But you're always reminded. Like I don't tell anyone. And then the day comes, someone finds out, and then everyone finds out. And on fucking Facebook, it's there.
No. Well, you're fighting a losing battle to try and just assume that the world is going to forget about your birthday. That's crazy. You need to accept that. But I think every comic can relate to the notion of I'm not where I want to be.
Yeah.
You know? I think that's a very
well. If you can, like, I had never spoke to anyone about this, but
like that, yeah.
You feel like that too?
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel I'm not getting enough respect. I'm not where I want to be. Do these people? You just try and curb those thoughts. I think, but
I feel old. I'm like I'm too old for like where I'm at.
I feel kind of that, not as much, but sometimes. But yeah, listen, you just got. I think if you just work that much, you'll get to where you want to get eventually.
You know what I want? I want the ability. I know a lot of people. They look back and they're proud of what they've done. They're like, I've accomplished so much. I want to feel like that. I always look back.
Never feel like that at all?
Never. I always feel. I swear. I always feel like, fuck, man, you've done nothing. Like, do something. Do something. You haven't done anything. And no matter what I do, I always think, okay, this next thing, I'm gonna feel accomplished.
Wow.
Never. And that's why I'm saying it's like a losing battle.
Yeah.
Because like this year, I should have been happy because by the time my birthday came around, the new studio was fully ready. I should have at least felt proud of that. And I was like, this should have been done a year ago. You haven't done anything. Like you gotta now you're behind.
That's tough. I don't feel like that. I feel accomplished. Like I'm proud of the things I've created, but I also feel like I still am not where I want to be in my career.
Yeah, never. And I don't think I'm ever gonna be happy. Well, in that sense, for career wise.
You kind of, if you do. One thing like that's happened to me is I did kind of achieve a level that I was happy with, but then you just, you want something greater and then you feel less happy. And I think like if I was younger and I thought, and you told me where I'd be at now in comedy now, I'd be thrilled, and now I'm like, I want more, so that is something that happens, but I still am able to, if I make a good sketch, like that could feel very accomplished about that and proud of that. But again, still not exactly where I want to be in my career. I don't feel like I've...
Yeah, me, it's only for that moment. I'm like, oh, this is cool. And I'm like, no, it isn't. You got to do something. It's super bad. Yeah, it's not good.
It's not a bad trait at all, actually. It's a very good trait to have.
That's the most stupid thing you've ever said.
No, it's not.
Because it causes me constant anxiety.
Yeah, that's not... I don't think that's good.
Here's the thing. No, here's the thing. Because you
have to go ahead and disagree with you on that.
Because you love what you do, right?
Yeah, I do love what I do. Yeah.
So are you ever really working, even though you're always working?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's not really what we're talking about.
That's not what we're talking about.
I get it. But I'm trying to...
You're trying to rationalize something that is hard to rationalize because it's weird because I'm aware enough to know that it's not healthy.
Yeah.
But there's nothing I could do to my brain to turn it off.
But I would never think of there's nothing you can do. There's always something you can do. You could see someone about that, and I'm telling you, like I used to think that about like I had like an anxiety thing when I was younger, and it would like fuck me up so hard, and I'd be like, I don't even believe. But I saw like a family friend who's a psychologist. He gave me like a mental technique, and it like cured me, legit.
Get the fuck out of here.
I swear to God. Yeah, I had agoraphobia. Not like I would get super
overwhelmed.
When I would travel, not when I'd like leave my house, but when I would leave much, and it was something that I grew up with and had. Like I'd go on vacations when I started doing them, like not with my parents, and just get super anxious. It would like really fuck me up. I couldn't control it, and it was so intense. It was so intense that I was like, "There's no way I'm just going to be that guy." And it sucks because I want to travel, I want to see the world. And yeah, it was a mental exercise, I could tell you.
How did you feel? Like, because I have a question. I don't know what I had, but initially when I first started to travel, I didn't talk to it because I don't know how to describe it. Okay. But I would, like, I'll tell you, the first time I ever went to Los Angeles, I remember it was the middle of the night. I ended up there at 11 o'clock. Yeah. And I had to go rent a car and then drive to another city. I went to close to Laguna Beach or whatever the fuck, like around there. Okay. So I've never been in this city before. It was the middle of the night. I remember feeling super overwhelmed. Yeah. And then the whole time I was there, like every night I go to my hotel room, I would feel super lonely and super like I'm never going home again. Like and it was over, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't keep going to these different cities. Already, I just came here for the first time, and I feel fucking like. And it took me a lot. It took me over a year to go to a lot of different places to start calming down, and now I can go to a place and just enjoy it. But I felt very. trapped
Yeah.
and like just far from home. I felt lonely. Like I felt like an orphan. It was a weird fucking feeling.
I mean, I wouldn't describe it like that, but that sounds, it's just anxiety, like travel anxiety.
Yeah.
But mine was very, very, very bad.
You couldn't even go.
I would go, but I would just I'd be, if I was occupied, if I was with people, if I was partying, I was normal, but then something would trigger me in my brain and it's like my personality would just change. It was very.
Would you
really
close
intense.
yourself off?
Yeah, like people could tell. Like I went to Europe with a friend once, and he's like, I could always tell. Like I could see just by the look on your face, the moment that it starts happening to you, And then I got a girlfriend when I was 24, and she went to go live in Costa Rica, and I was like, I'm going to go visit her. And then in the lead up, I would start to get anxious, and I was like, I don't want this to happen. And I went, and it's a mental breathing and thinking exercise. And he's like, you don't even have to believe it's going to work. Just do what I say. Just do the technique.
And it
all
worked.
these steps. And I couldn't fucking believe it. It worked. And it's something that I use for all types of anxiety. It's just like a de-anxiety decreaser. And every trip I went on after, I would still do it. And it just got better and better and better. And listen, like I moved to Toronto when I was, 26, and I never thought I'd be able to live in a city alone,
And then you did it.
I did it, and I love traveling, and I don't get it anymore. But if you get a little bit anxious, I'll just do it, and it's fine. But it's nothing like how it was. So to my point is, you can always figure things out. The idea of I could never, you could do it. There's techniques you just don't know of.
The travel thing pretty much left me. Like sometimes now I'll get a little, but it's normal. Like anxiety, but I'll be fine. But looking back at the accomplishments,
change that. I promise.
That I hope I can change it because that's something that. It always fucks me. That's why I always try to never think about it. And then once a fucking year, people are like, look at everything you've done. I'm like, I've done nothing.
Listen, I'll hook you up with my guy. Okay?
Hook me up with your guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, hook me up with your guy. I'm curious to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like a straight to business, like in like one session. He's just like, try this. Do this. He's like, trust me, just do it.
He's not like a medication guy.
No. And he's not like you need to come here like every week or two for years. It was like, I saw him like 2 or 3 times. And he's like, he doesn't even really want to hear you talk. You tell him the problem.
And he
does
wants
most
to
of the talking.
Okay.
And then he gives you a solution.
I like this.
Yeah. I think he's the type of guy for you.
Yeah, that does sound like
He's
something for me.
Family friend. So he's a good guy.
Yeah, I think I need something like that because I'm self-aware enough to know that it's not good.
Well, that's good. Just that alone is like good. Letterman had the same thing, eh?
Really?
Yeah, his whole thing was he always felt like every single show he did was shit.
Yeah.
He would get, and like imagine being David Letterman and
Jesus
not being
Christ.
able to enjoy. That's like artistically and just his position. That's like the dream of everyone. He's like one of the best comic, and to just never think you're funny.
Oh, that would
influence generations of comedians, and to just be that good and have that be in that position and never think you're funny. Like it's almost like a waste if you can't enjoy that shit.
Yeah, that
can influence the culture.
But he got over it. You said
no, I never got over it.
Oh fuck!
That was just his thing. He would get he would have fits after shows. Apparently, he'd lose his shit and you couldn't talk to him, and from what I've read,
because he didn't like something he did.
He would leave after every show, almost every show. He'd get off stage and be like, "That was shit. I wasn't funny. I don't feel funny. This is going to be the end of me. Like, what am I doing? None of the thing I'm doing is good."
Sound familiar, Poseidon?
Huh?
Does that sound familiar?
A little.
Is that what you're like, or are you like that?
No. Sometimes I do that, but there are times where I know that I had a good set.
Yeah.
But there are other times where I'm like, man, this wasn't good. And then people backstage or him, he's like, what the fuck? No, that was the best I've seen you do in like a month. And then I start second guessing myself. I'm like, how the fuck can I not tell? How the fuck do they know that it was funny and I can't tell that it was funny? What the fuck is that?
I think there's like a degree of which, you're going to be able to judge better, but to a degree, it sounds like you have that where it's like, irrational to a sense.
It's a little irrational. But I'm telling you, at least I'm self-aware and I know it's irrational.
Yeah.
So I think that's the first step.
That is the first step. That's what he told me.
You see?
Taking action is the first step. It's okay. All you got to do is just try,
I do, yeah. I don't stop. I keep going.
No, I mean like try to fix that about you.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how.
Yeah. But no, see, I'll hook you up.
Yeah, hook me up.
See someone. I really think I always feel like there's just solutions for everything.
You're probably right. I mean, most problems, we pretend like there's no solution and we're fucked, but you normally find there's something out there.
Yeah, you just have to try. I think most people just don't try. Nobody's born perfect.
No.
But if you just have the will, there's a way.
Do you, so right now, since stand-up is the thing of the past for the time being, for the next 28 days.
Which is not too long, but yeah.
Are you doing what I'm doing? Are you doubling down? Because it can't be just the 2 videos that you're working on now.
No,
there's got to be more on the plate for you.
No. That's just like it's my first week back. The idea is to do like 3 or 4 videos a week, as well as just, I was, when we talked like a couple weeks ago, I was like, I'm coming out with an album, like a ridiculous holiday album. Now I had to move sort of last minute, so I couldn't do any of that work for like the past 3 weeks, and the holidays are coming up. I was planning on doing that as well as doing like 8 or 9 ridiculous cover songs of holiday albums, because I did one video 2 years ago, Feliz Navidad, where I did just a ridiculous cover and video of it. And
I saw that. Oh yeah, I did see that.
Like dancing around.
Yeah, you were dancing. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
So I was like, I want to do an album of that, and then just really. It's like a troll album, but if I make it an album, put it on Spotify and do media, like I feel like I can do all that shit.
Why the fuck not, bro?
I want to. I just don't know. Now I'm starting to feel like fuck doing like 3 or 4 videos a week, and that it's like so there's time limit on that, and like I'd love to be able to do it. I don't know if I'll. I don't want to talk like that. That's what I'd like to do. But even just 4 videos a week is
that's still good.
Yeah, it's tough. I never thought, dude. Before. This is how much New York changed me. Before I moved to New York, the most I could ever do was 1 a week, and that's when I worked at MTL Blog, and I had a team of people working with me. I was never able to do more than 1 video a week.
And you had a team.
And I had a team. And now I came back, and I was just, there's something to be said for like being confined in your apartment and being like, okay, you can't leave your apartment and make a video. It becomes a lot. You force yourself to it has to be easier and easier production. And when I came back, I was able to fucking wake up, write a video, film it, edit it, put it out like that day.
Okay, that's efficient.
As well as go look at my older videos and then take a clip from an older one. So I was doing 2 videos a day, and that was my routine. So it's a full-time job.
Oh yeah.
So to do that as well as try and do an album that you're, need to sync. Well, the syncing I could do quickly. Then you got to edit that. Then you got to fucking make a video. I could do it all. I just don't know if I could do both of them. And I'm trying to think of which one will have the greater impact on my career. Like I really feel like now is the only time I feel like in my life I'm ever going to be able to really just kind of not work and just
focus on the craft.
Do videos every day, like full time for money, for no money. You know what I mean?
I like the videos, but there's something about the idea of making the troll album and putting it up during the holidays when you already know that a lot of people aren't going to be doing shit.
Oh, I don't think it's going to make it. Whether I do it this year or next year, but like I wanted to do it last year. Like I will get it done eventually. I don't think it matters whether or not other comics are doing anything. But yeah, don't you feel like a lot of comics are like I used to think
I feel like a lot of people aren't doing stuff.
Yeah. Well, I used to think like I got, I think like some people got fucked more than others, some not as much. And I would always put myself in the middle of that compared to the rest of society, which I still think I'm kind of in the middle. But then I think about, it never really occurred to me, but the other night I was on a walk and I was thinking about how compared to the other comics, I'm much less fucked just because I have so much background in doing videos and I have a bit of a following online, so I could just do that. Whereas like the grand majority of comedians just know how to do stand-up.
Yeah.
And like, hey buddy, like start learning how to make videos and who's going to even do that? You know what I mean? So, well, they're really fucked. And
they're really
in the
fucked.
Industry, like agents and managers and people who work at comedy clubs, people that's like, fuck, what the fuck are they doing? I don't even know. It's fucked.
The comedy clubs is another thing. I've been meaning, I'll message him today just to see, because I want to know what David Acker thinks about this. Because, I mean, as far as I know, these clubs, they still have to pay rent. So, for example, I know he still has to pay rent, but the club is closed. Mm-hmm. So you're not selling any, and even when it was open, you were at a limited, like 1/3 capacity or something.
Yeah.
Plus he's paying the comic. Like, I don't know how the fuck a lot of us, like a lot of the industry here is going to survive with this.
You're anywhere, nowhere. It's the industry in general. I know it's such a, I don't know. And will it go back to the same, or will they be weary of another virus coming? Like, I don't, there's so much uncertainty that it's really,
I think we're not going back to the same for a very long time, because people are, even if there's a vaccine, let's say for this, people will now be extra cautious, nervous, the mask thing, the separation, because a lot of people just, and I include myself in this, I'm not any better. Like when this first happened, I was a fucking panicky bitch.
Yeah, well, nobody knew what it was.
So
Everyone was afraid.
My mask, my glasses, I was gloves everywhere. I was like, what's happening?
Yeah.
I was fucking putting Lysol on all the stuff I'd bring in the house. Dude,
Everybody was like that.
Washing all the groceries as I bring them in. Anything, plastic, whatever the fuck. I was panicking. And I'm like, now I see other people doing kind of similar things. I go, you know what? I find it a little excessive, but I can't judge them because I did the same fucking thing for a month and a half.
Well, that's because they made it sound like the Black Plague in the beginning.
Yeah,
it
it
was
scared the shit out of me. Yeah.
Nobody knew. Well, they was like, you don't know. Just like, of course, people would leave packages outside for days.
Yeah.
They would take them in with gloves, spray the packages.
Everything is closed. And the second they closed everything down, that's when I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
This is like a movie. If they're willing to close everything down, if the government is nervous, holy shit, this shit's real. So then you would panic.
Really? So how long do you think then it's going to be before things go back to normal? What's your...
I can't see it going back to normal in less than in 2 years, like before 2 years.
Not too long.
But
I think that like 2-3 years.
2-3 years. You're going to need the current, I guess, high schoolers and college kids to grow up and slowly start taking over because they didn't give as much of a fuck. So you need that mentality.
It's gonna be a lot longer than 2 years.
Well, you need that mentality to start consuming culture.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to, I don't think, personally, I don't think that is going to.
Because the current people that control culture, which is, let's say, our generation and the one above us, the one that was right before us, we're kind of panicking, most of us. So it's going to permeate. But the next one that wasn't really affected personally and they see it more as like just a weird blip in time.
Yeah.
The second that culture starts taking over, we're going to forget about it. It's kind of like 9/11. 9/11 right now isn't, even though we think about it, and the remnants of it are still felt. Like, obviously, the police state and, when you go to the airport, how you treat like a criminal, that came from 9/11. But now, the way we talk about it, the way we think about it, because it's changed in culture. It's not the same as it used to be because a new culture took over, a new generation took over. And that's what always happens. That's how certain things that are taboo in one generation are not in the next. It's just because, well, no, that's not a big deal. So then you carry on. So I think once they take over, we'll go back to the way it used to be. But until then, the masks mandatory and all that shit, I think that's going to stick around.
Yeah, but 2 years isn't so bad.
I would say 2 years, but might be longer, maybe 5, 6. I don't know.
Yeah, that is more like fucked up.
But what was I going to say? It shouldn't take that long to kind of go back to normal. Like, the viruses have existed for thousands. Just a few years ago, we had what was it? I was reading the influenza or something.
Yeah,
was much deadlier than the virus right now.
Yeah.
So where was the meltdown for that?
Well, because it didn't get as out of control. I think.
Yeah, it didn't get us out. That's what it was. It didn't get us out of control.
We're 3 idiots. We don't know when the fuck things are going to go back to normal. We have no idea.
Yeah,
there's no way I'm going to figure this out.
Yeah, me neither. But it's frustrating to look at the current
I know. That's why you got to just live in the moment. Have your 10 people orgy that you're permitted to by the government.
You're looking forward to that. He's like, 10 people.
You're not invited, bro. Sorry.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think what you said is very important for comics or anyone in kind of our similar shoes. You have to find other outlets. Because I think the biggest thing isn't just making a career. I think having a place to unload your creativity. I had trouble when I was younger describing that feeling. It's very hard to describe to someone who is not like involved in any art. Some people don't need that outlet. Like I have friends who they don't understand what I mean by needing to create something.
You have to express yourself.
You have to, and that's how I express myself is through, podcasting, stand-up, all that. So I couldn't even describe it myself to people what was missing or what I needed. It was just like, what are you talking about? And I was like, I don't know, I want to make something. You think we should make like a show or something? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? No. And because they don't have, their outlet comes from whatever is their job, and they don't realize it, that they don't have that side of them. Yeah. So now that I know it, I know the most important thing is for everyone is to not lose. Let's say if you're a comedian, you have to figure something else outside of stand-up. Maybe it's podcasting, maybe it's sketches, just to get those juices out of it so you don't stress yourself too much. Yeah. Because you're going to get very depressed if it's bottled up and you can't express it.
Well, it's depressing to just be a stand-up comic in general. Fuck, it's such a tough business, especially... it's very tough, like now in Montreal. It was always tough in Montreal to be an English comic, but now it's like, I don't know, it almost feels like it's not even worth it.
The comeback when we reopened everything, for the most part. Remember how weird that felt? I saw you at the Nest. We were together. It was, the only time you really felt like, oh fuck, I'm a stand-up again is at the Bordel. Those shows. Yeah. It was a different culture completely. But in general, any show I would do in the city since the comeback, there was always something missing, and it was a part of the crowd, not just the size, but the reaction, the way they thought, the nerves were there.
But it kind of, the people loosened up towards the end.
And then this happened.
And then maybe it'll just be 28 days.
Do you think it'll just be 28 days? Like, honestly, in the beginning I did, and now the more I think about it, it's impossible. So you're telling me they're going to close this down for 28 days? And then Halloween, house to house, kids going around, they're going to allow that?
They're going to outlaw that. Halloween canceled. It's going to be outlawed.
Guaranteed.
No, I think they were talking about just closing certain things. And so maybe they'll close other things, but then open things that have been closed. Listen, I don't know.
Oh, like just shifted?
Shifted, yeah. Schools will be closed for 28 days, and then
that would be amazing.
Bars, you know?
Yeah, they're gonna allow kids though, just to even everything out.
Yes, kids will be allowed at the bars.
Fuck, I don't know. Where, Poseidon? Where are you on this spectrum? Because you're not a stand-up, but you're involved.
He's on the
adjacent.
spectrum,
Yeah, he's on the spectrum.
Of course.
Where are you on the spectrum?
Where are you on this? What do you?
I feel like we've overreacted like crazy.
We as me and you, or
as in a society?
But you see, it's easy to say that, but I don't know if we have.
Well, look at Sweden, right?
Forget Sweden, bro.
Sweden.
Forget Sweden, because they didn't they also overreacted, right? They overreacted in the sense of telling people, "Fuck you, we don't want to." That's still an overreaction on one side.
Well, I would say then there's something in the middle, right?
But what's the middle for this? Is what I don't get. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
what is the middle ground for this?
That's the money question.
How do you? Because we're trying the middle now, right? Close up some stuff.
I don't know. It's just I think they're just doing what they can do until there's a vaccine that they can distribute.
Are you going to grab the vaccine right away if it's available to you, or are you going to wait?
I'm gonna follow the pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get in line, do what everybody else does. I'm not afraid of vaccines.
I'm going to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just I've never been afraid. I never thought about vaccines before, but I'm only going to wait. Kind of like in the beginning with coronavirus, the first stuff we were hearing was crazier than what it ended up being.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just wait to see what the side effects are for the people.
Yeah, no, that's smart too. I don't know. Like, I can't even say what I'm going to do, to be honest. I'm going to see, I'll feel it out when it comes and see what's going on. I do trust Health Canada to a degree. But, we'll see when it happens.
I don't trust anything attached to the government.
No, nothing?
Nothing.
Okay.
The welfare office, I don't fucking trust these guys either, man.
It's funny money they're giving you.
Yeah. Oh, we're not getting any money now, right? Oh, actually, somebody told me that
unemployment.
they said that we're entitled to something for the next 28 days.
Is it? I don't know how. It's only 28 days. I think you're supposed to go from CERB to unemployment.
But that's the federal government. But they said that here, because of what they're doing for 28 days, I'm going to see if we're eligible for money lost, because we can't do stand-up. They closed the bars down.
Yeah.
So apparently there's something we can go get.
Yeah. They're good at giving money. They're not bad in this province.
That's going to fuck us in a year.
Yeah, not too worried.
No?
Yeah.
I mean, what's it going to affect? It's going to affect our pensions and probably inflation, so shit's going to get more expensive.
That I don't know.
That'll hurt, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now, no one's getting a PS5 this year.
Coronavirus and the economy. This is not my expertise here. I'm starting.
Yeah, not us either. I like how you look. You're like, these guys
are just making us all look dumb.
Oh yeah,
but we like to shoot the shit about it.
We're definitely not the intellectuals that are needed for this debate.
The deeper this convo goes, the more lack of answers I'll have.
I'm not even smart enough to discuss ingredients in soup.
Okay,
so.
You know what? I'm glad that you admit it, though. I'm glad that you fucking admit it. No, I'm, in the end, I'm only interested in how long I can keep doing the stuff I'm doing and comedy.
I think it's very easy in this province to just get by doing, you need to make such little money to be able to survive and just do your craft and,
But what if you want something more?
You want more money, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think you could do it as long as until I just feel like I'm so disillusioned by the entertainment industry in Canada in general. If you're doing something online, that's different because that you could be anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's actually you're in a good place to do it here because you could just afford to do it for cheap. You could afford to live.
Yeah, and build it up.
But just like Canada in general, entertainment, forget it.
No, it is kind of a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a running gag
English,
between comics.
French, different story.
Dude, French has a star system. I've said it before.
Oh yeah,
they'll build you up.
I know, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's people get noticed. They'll give them shows. They'll work with them.
Yeah.
They'll try to create the next star.
Oh yeah.
We
talked about this last time.
Yeah, when we were together. Yeah. And it was hard for me. Again, same thing I say to English comics. They don't get what the fuck I'm talking about. I was like, if you can speak French and you're funny, try it.
Yeah. If you've got talent, you don't even need that much talent.
No, you don't. No, you don't. I already did a TV spot in French. I've done stand up 16 times.
Yeah.
In French, so it doesn't. I'm not saying I'm talentless, but clearly
I mean, you got talent.
Yeah,
I mean, you're different, you know.
different, but it's not the same work and get nothing as it is on the English scene where
No.
doesn't matter how good you are.
Have to here, no, forget it.
If this was a real meritocracy and the most talented people would get something, the biggest star in this country should be David fucking Pride.
Yeah, well, listen, I think if you're able to make it in Montreal on the English side, that says a ton.
Yeah.
And he is able to live in English. Live in Montreal and do comedy in English and still earn a living.
Yeah, he writes as a writer, but this guy should have been. He still won I think.
Yeah, he's a guy who I'd be in New York watching all these comics, and I would be like, I want David Pride to come. I want to see him do a set in New York and just see how the people would react. And I would legit think about that when I was in New York. He's
one of those guys that you'd love. He's like your ringer. He's if you're like, I got a guy to put on here. Yeah. Then he'll go up and be like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, he's great.
He's very, very good. He's smart.
Yeah.
Big Pride fan. But same thing.
Everybody loves Pride. I don't think.
But Hetty too. He's one of those fucking writers also that he'll take you somewhere on a joke.
Yeah.
And you're like, how did this motherfucker take me there without me noticing?
The New York effect, man. He lived in New York City for 6 months, and I just saw. I mean, granted, I haven't seen him for over a decade, but still, I saw the New York in his act the other night when I watched him. Oh yeah. It really does something to your stand-up, just like living in New York for a bit and doing the stand-up there. Like if you have talent and you could figure out what works and what the audience, it'll just change. You'll become such a better comic so much quicker.
Interesting.
Yeah, it really.
I believe that. I've heard that from other people.
A lot, and I had been going for a year and a half before I moved there, so it was the process had already begun. But it took me about 2 months to get into the rhythm, and then, dude, it was like every week. I mean, it was granted 3 weeks, but for those 3 weeks that I was in that rhythm, it was like no more. It was like every joke that I was writing was like a keeper and like next level. And I remember the very last joke I wrote, I was like, Jesus, I didn't think I was like, this is better than what I thought I could do type of thing.
Oh, that's a good feeling.
Yes. And it was just the fucking beginning. So it was really like, it fucking sucks. The whole thing feels like a dream now because I was just there for 3 months. But
and really, now it's so distant because of everything that happened.
I just feel like I'm back here. Like, what the hell? I was done with Montreal. I was happy. I was like, this is where I want to live. I'm good. I never thought I'd move back anytime soon. And it's like the whole thing just never happened because I just live in Montreal again.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like. It's really weird.
You're not the only one. There's a couple of my friends that moved back here and they're like, what the fuck, man? Like, what just happened? I had a plan.
Yeah. But I mean, everyone's plans got fucked,
Yeah, we all look.
Everyone's fucked.
In the end, if you're going to take anything from this fucking episode, is that you should go check out fucking Adam Susser's stuff. One of the best that we have making these goddamn videos. And hopefully this shit ends sooner rather than later so he can get back to New York and become the goddamn star that he was destined to be. As far as that goes, we have it easy. Other people lost fucking loved ones. It's been hell.
Of course.
Underlining conditions, and there's a lot of problems.
Yeah.
We're fucking fine. We're comics. We're going to figure our way out.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. If you're still healthy and I feel like I interrupted you. So
No.
Yeah, if you're still healthy and you have your friends and family and you were lucky enough to not be like directly touched by it, that's why I just think it's going to be a blip in our overall life, a year or two, and then it'll just be something that happened, then life will go on.
I'm fucking right there with you. So Adam Susser, links are in the description. Follow Adam. You can follow Poseidon too. Twitter.com. ThePoseidon69 is his handle. He's there on Instagram with the same handle. Ludicrous, man. Patreon.com/Pantelis if you want to get involved in this month's Spookfest. Every Friday night we're watching movies. So thanks to Adam for being on. Thank you, dude.
Thank you.
Poseidon, thank you for standing in that corner and not making it too awkward today for us. And thank you all for listening.